Hey guys, it's Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. I hope you get a lot of time to work in your garden this weekend because that's what I plan to do, and there's no better Mother's Day gift than that, truthfully. I'm super excited to show you what I am planting this year. Oh, hello, Randy. Hi, meet Randy. So first I want to show you how I'm storing my seeds this year. In years past, I always kept them in a Tupperware container, and I'd have to flip through to find them. And when you're out in the garden planting and, whatnot, and you're saving some seeds and putting it back, I found it kind of cumbersome to do that method. And I bought photo album sheets and I put my seed packets in there. Excuse me, Randy. So I put it in order of kind of how I plant them. So I've got all my cool weather crops first. So I've already planted some broccoli, some snow peas, and some sugar snap peas. Onion sets, pak choy, and some Brussels sprouts. I am putting in some Napa cabbage this weekend. I'm hoping to get that in. But for this, the packet said it had to be a little bit warmer out. You wanted to be past the last frost date. And I'm a little worried we may still get a frost. If you're in zone 5B, you know that this next week and a half, there's really great weather, and it may continue, it may not. I've been burned in the past, but I kind of think to myself, you know what? I'm gonna put it in now, and if it doesn't do well in the next 2 weeks, Memorial Weekend, I'll put it in again because I've got plenty of seeds. So I have already got my carrots in. These are the carrots I planted. I love these yellow ones. That's something different this year for me. I just plant traditional carrots, but here's some, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Kyoto red. And I thought those looked really cool, but my favorites are these. Lila Lu Sang. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but aren't they cool? Purple on the outside, kind of a light orange on the inside. I just thought those were really pretty. And that's the only reason why I'm planting them. And honestly, I don't even care if they taste that good because they're gonna look pretty on a plate, right? I have my beets in already. These are the ones I have in, and they're doing great. They always do. They're easy to grow for us here. And then I decided to try these. These are a friend of mine. I was out shopping with her. She's like, "Ooh, try these." So I'm putting these in. Chioggia, something like that. But they're just pretty, and she mentions, oh, those would be really good if they're pickled. So I may try to do that. I've never pickled beets before, but I may give it a whirl. We'll see. But these are always my favorites, and oh my goodness, Randy, you do not need to be part of this. I know you think you need to be part of this. You do not need to be part of this. I've got some celery planted already. I planted a whole row of spinach this year, and it's coming up great. I think I actually planted early enough this year that it's not going to bolt. The last 3 years it's bolted and I haven't gotten any spinach, so I planted a lot earlier and hopefully I'll actually harvest something. So with my Baker's Creek order, I got this Yeticule lettuce, and that's something new I've never tried, so I'm going to be planting that this year. I'm also going to be planting kale. Okay, head lettuce, just some iceberg there. I got 2 different kinds, and I am planting it in succession this year, and I'm kind of alternating. 1 week I planted 4 to 6 heads of one kind and then the other kind, so I'm just going to keep doing that until I'm out of space for it. But I would rather do it that way, so it's not all, all the heads aren't coming up at the same time, because no one can eat that much lettuce, I'm pretty sure. Then I've got butter crunch lettuce. That's always a hit around here. And then I plant some Merlot. And I like planting these two I alternate it in the ground. It just looks pretty, even if we don't eat it, it really is beautiful when you plant them together. So I am planting a lot of radishes this year. I'm the only one who likes the radishes in my house. I'm pretty sure nobody else will eat them. But I bought a lot of them to try this year, mainly because I'm planting them as a companion plant. I'm going to interplant them, or intercrop, whatever word you want to call it. I'm going to call them buddies. These are buddies to my other plants because they keep the bugs away. At least they're supposed to. And I'm trying it this year for the first time. So please follow me. You'll see if it works. And we've got basil, sweet basil. Love that. Sometimes I just cut it and put it in a glass in the kitchen just to make the kitchen smell good for a few hours. I love it. I don't typically plant time. I just use the dry spice that you buy at the store, but I thought, maybe I'll throw some in. And I think that is a good companion plant for things too. I'd have to research that a bit. Oregano, we got rosemary, cilantro, one of my favorites. I love making pico de gallo, so I gotta have that. Mint, I am planting some mint. Don't put this in your garden because it will spread. I'm gonna put it in a pot and maybe even put the pot down in the ground. I may do like a grow bag or something in the ground to try to keep it contained. So don't plant that in your garden. It'll spread. It'll be a nightmare for you. Dill, I'm planting that mainly, again, as a companion plant. Intercropping this, it's a little buddy to other plants, keeps the bugs away. Parsley, gonna plant that. This year, this is a new one for me, garbanzo beans. I'm anxious to try that, and I'm probably gonna get some of those in this weekend. I'm planting my beans this weekend. In Zone 5B, might be a little bit early. And even though we're gonna have 70s the next week with even an 80-degree day in there, we could get a cold dip after that. I'm gonna plant now, and if it sprouts and dies, or if it just doesn't sprout, I'll just replant Memorial Weekend. I've not planted chives before. I'd like to get some of those in the ground. Cucumbers, big favorite at our house, the pickling cucumbers. We just like a fresh cucumber salad kind of thing with onions. We usually bring the cucumbers to my mom's and she does it for me, which is really nice. I bring them over there and then she makes it and brings it over and I put it in the fridge. It's fantastic. So that's the one thing she really helps me out with. And she likes them as well because she gets them then. She preps it all and she gets to keep part of it, gives some to us. So we both benefit. And then I'm growing some regular cucumbers just for eating. I'm planting eggplant this year, just the regular Black Beauty. I've tried the Japanese kind before, you know, like the long skinny ones. I just don't like them as much. I think the flavor seems better in the big Black Beauty ones. And we don't eat too much eggplant. I'm only putting one of those in this year. Last year I put 2. I had too many eggplants. We just weren't eating them fast enough. So I'll just put one in. Jalapeno peppers, love those. I got a couple of those plants. And then I've got crimson sweet watermelon. I am terrible at growing watermelons, so I'm only gonna grow one plant to put out there. I should have started the seeds indoors already, and I hadn't, but you know what? I still got a few weeks left before I'd be putting any watermelon plants in the garden. I'm gonna wait till June for that. Peppers, I'm planting a ton of peppers. I got the Monster Bell, regular California Wonder, Chinese Giant Sweet. I haven't tried those before. And then a yellow bell. So I've done these before, but not the Monster Bell or the Giant Sweet. So I hope they do well. I hope they are giant. I haven't had luck with peppers because I tried to grow my plants from seed last year. I had like 22 plants and we didn't have the fence up around it. I don't know if a deer came through, like literally the tops of every single plant was bit off and left. So I was not happy. It killed all the plants were done. We do have a fence around. It's not secured to the bottom very well, but if there's deer around, they're not getting in there. So I'm hoping my peppers do good this year. Oh, this is what I'm most excited about. These tomatoes. I bought so many different packets. So I'm trying so many different kinds. I so cannot wait. So normally I just buy a regular beefsteak, but I saw these giant red ones, and these are, I think, the largest tomatoes. They can get up to 1 to 3 pounds. And wait till you see my plants, because I started them way too early, and I'm actually worried because I can't put them in the ground for probably a couple weeks yet. I'm a little concerned they've grown too big for weight. Oh, I know they're too big for their pots, but I may have to transplant them today because I don't want them to get root bound. I don't want to go through all this work of planting these plants, all these months taking care of them, and then they get root bound and not do well or die. But they are really on the edge right now, and I still have them on grow lights in the basement. It's a scene. I will be showing you that in another video. I've got the Woods Famous Brimmer. And these also get pretty decent size, 3 to 4 inch red fruit. And these are from Baker's Creek. I ordered quite a few seeds from Baker Creek last year and this year. And this one, ooh, this is another new one. Pineapple tomato. I have not tried these, and I've seen videos on these. I just think these would be really good for like some sort of fresh salsa or some sort of pico de gallo thing. Even if you mix it with the red, it would add color and it just looked fun. So that's why I'm planting it, because it's all about the fun, right? These get up to 2 pounds. Here's another one I'm super excited about, Pink Jazz. Isn't that a cool name? But these, I know they look kind of weird from the outside, but I think they're pretty. But the inside, they're more red inside, and these can weigh a pound each. The problem is they get me with their videos. If you've ever seen Baker Creek on Facebook or I don't know if it's TikTok, they've got all kinds of videos out there. They really can lure you in to buy their stuff. And then, oh, here's another one, Mortgage Lifter. I mean, doesn't that name just say it all, Mortgage Lifter? I thought I gotta try this. That's an heirloom one. And this one, 2.5 pounds each. So that's another big one. So I'm kind of testing all of these larger tomatoes. I want to see which ones really are, I put it in the wrong spot, really do get the largest, which ones produce the most. So I'm excited to find out, and follow me because you will find out as well, because I plan to make videos throughout the season. Cherokee Purple, I tried these for the first time last year. They didn't get super big. I wasn't super fond of the flavor. I think it kind of has more of a smoky flavor to it. But I had a relative who I gave a plant to, and they are in love with these. So I grew some of these for them. I am keeping one because I thought, okay, try it again. I'm gonna try it one more time. So I'm just gonna plant one of these, but I'm giving them the rest. And these, I'm trying to think. It says superb sweet flavor, and I didn't feel it was super sweet. Big boy, traditional big boys. They don't really get that big though, I don't think. Oh yeah, these get up to 2 pounds, some up to 2 pounds, but I've planted these in the past. I feel like they don't get even close. But my dad always planted those, so those and the beefsteaks, so I kind of feel like they're a traditional one. Oh, and he also planted the early girl. The only reason I'm planting these is because I figured I'd get tomatoes earlier than the other ones. But when you see my plants, you're gonna think, oh my gosh, she's gonna get tomatoes in like 2 weeks. They're huge. So I think they're about to flower actually. Roma tomatoes, that's a standard for me. I usually do San Marzano too, at least the last 2 years I've done San Marzano. But honestly, I don't really notice a huge difference between the Roma and the San Marzano. And I don't know, I was just feeling like I'm just gonna buy one kind this year. And then we have some Dr. Weiss Yellow. That's also from Baker's Creek. So these get to be about 1 pound. So it doesn't look like they get that huge, but they have a real sweet taste. And I'm actually trying out a lot of yellow tomatoes for my mother. She thinks they're less acidic, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm trying different ones. And you know what? I had to plant this one, Dad's Sunset. And doesn't that look great? My dad passed away like 5 years ago, and I don't know, it just reminded me of him, and he liked the yellow tomatoes too, and he always had a big garden. And it's funny, I grew up having to work in that garden all the time, helping plant, weed. But do you think I really paid attention to all the details and how to plant things and why and this and that? Nope, I didn't. I just worked in it and I hated it, and I swore I would never garden again, and I didn't. Like my whole adult life, I got out, I'm like, nope, no garden. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And then we bought this house like out in the county. It's an old farmhouse. We bought it five years ago. It was right after my dad passed away. We bought this house, and I've been gardening like a freak ever since. So anyway, these tomatoes remind me of him, and that's why I'm planting them. We've got Orange Jazz. This is similar to the Pink Jazz, just orange. Doesn't say how big they get. And then I have these Hughes tomatoes, and I know what you're thinking, ew, right? Well, I'm telling you, when I ordered these, they didn't look that way. They looked more yellow to me. And then I get the packet, and I was like, oh, those look unappetizing. But you know, maybe these are really, really ugly, but maybe they taste really, really good. So needless to say, I'm only putting one of these in because I feel like it's a risk. I think they might have sold me maybe on one of their videos or something. They do get 1 to 2 pounds. Plants will start out wispy and sparse. I don't think mine are wispy and sparse, but it says that. Let's see. Yellow beef. So it's a yellow beef steak. Lemonly. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Let's say that again. Lemony yellow color. My lemons aren't that color. That looks brownish yellow. Ew, okay. And I'm also planting these cherry red tomatoes. We've got zucchini. I'm trying these. Don't they look cool? Cocoselle. Okay, and then I've got the dark green zucchini and the summer gold. I did try a yellow zucchini last year, no, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I tried a yellow zucchini that was vertical, and that grew great. And I don't know if the bugs were any different. I think it was honestly the same amount. They say growing vertically is supposed to help with that. So, but I didn't buy those this year. I just bought the traditional ones. Then I have the squashes. I have a regular butternut. I have grown these every year. I love them. My dad used to grow them. I love butternut squash. This year I'm going to try the honey nut squash from Baker's Creek. I thought they looked interesting. Let's see what it says here. 100 days. It's a mini butternut. One of the best tasting squash of all time. And you know, that line got me. That was very good marketing. Fruit reaches just 4 to 5 inches long, single serving size, and quicker to roast whole. So I'm excited. I mean, squash, honey, and that goes together well, right? A sweet squash. So excited to try that. Okay, I am growing pumpkins again this year. Now, I've grown these before. These do well. I actually have grown these on the trellis. I'm not sure I'm going to put these on the trellis this year. I may put them on the ground along with these pumpkins. These are so pretty on the trellis. I'm just saying. They're really, really gorgeous. But I don't know if I have room to put them on there this year. I grew these before. I only got a couple. I only planted, I think, 2 plants of these. And I remember only getting a couple of them, and they didn't look as pretty as this picture. But I thought, okay, try that one more time. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to do the traditional, you know, pumpkins to carve. I have not had good luck with pumpkins. The vine borers take them over, and they end up killing them by July. So last year I grew those enormous pumpkins, and I was so excited because you need like a lot of space, like 15 feet around it or something. So I allowed all the space in my garden for 2 pumpkin plants. They were doing great. The pumpkins were getting huge, and then the vine borers killed them. So that's why I'm obsessed with bugs this year, because I don't want them eating my plants. Hello, you're back. All right, I know these aren't seed packets, but I wanted to include in here because I am growing potatoes this year. I did another video on this. I had no clue what I'm doing with potatoes because this is my first time, but I'm growing red potatoes, Yukon Gold, and sweet potatoes. I'm also planting these horseradish roots right next to my potatoes. They're a buddy plant. They are supposed to keep bugs away, but I am not putting them in the ground. They're going to go in a pot because they do spread. I'm also going to try planting some corn. I'm just doing 2 rows. Last year I made the mistake of planting 1 row, and you can't plant corn that way. You need 2 rows for pollination. So maybe that's why it didn't do so well. I got the peaches and cream. I don't know, what else did I get? Let's see. I got the sweet early corn casino, candy corn, and then bicolor corn luscious, bicolor corn bonjour. Apparently we have French corn. Okay. And then the peaches and cream. And then, because I couldn't stop there, I always wanted to grow these glass gem ornamental corn. I mean, we always had Indian corn when we were kids. My dad used to grow it, and I thought, I gotta throw this in somewhere. Maybe I can do the area outside the garden. We have a field near us, and I mentioned it in one of my other videos. Maybe I'll rototill a spot and put corn there, and since that's not eating corn, that's just for decoration, maybe I can put it there, and then if the farmer's like spraying stuff or whatever, I wouldn't really care about that. I'm gonna throw some lavender in. Then I've got nasturtium. That's a good buddy plant for your entire garden, but you don't wanna put it right next to your plants. You kinda wanna put it on the ends of the rows or in the corners of your garden. The bugs will go after this instead of your plants. Then I have sunflowers. And I'm probably not putting these in my garden. These are Stella. I think those are shorter ones, if I remember correctly. And I'm gonna put these just alongside, on the side of my house where I get really good sun in the afternoon. And like I said, they're shorter, so I thought that might look pretty with an old farmhouse like that on the side. Marigolds, of course, those will be all over my garden. I planted those from seed, so I've got several plants, and I'm grateful because last year I went to buy these at the greenhouse after I planted my garden, and they were kind of hard to find. They were like sold out, or if there were some left, they were like $5 for one plant. And I'm like, well, I need a lot of them. That's going to add up. So this year I planted my own. So I've got a lot of those. Then I'm planting zinnias. Every vegetable garden needs them. In years past, I have planted like the multicolor with the yellow and the orange and the reds in there. And this year I thought, why not just get the colors I really love? And so I love all the pinks and purples and whites, you know, all mixed together. And I couldn't stop there. You know, I had to get baby's breath. I've never grown that, but I thought that might be pretty, like on the base of it. And I got these forget-me-nots. I've never planted those, but oh my God, they're so pretty. So those are, oh, and then I got these purple cone flowers. I thought that might be a pretty mix to kind of mix in with the zinnias. So all of this stuff is gonna go like in a row actually in my garden and around my garden. I'm gonna try to do a spot around the outside as well. Oh, I got these too. Cosmos. Oh, aren't those pretty? They're so pretty. And I did get these foxglove, but then I thought I read somewhere that you don't want to put these in your vegetable garden. And I can't remember the reason why. So I have to look that up again before I decide to put that inside there. But if anything, I can put these on the outside of the garden. So that's it. But I thought this book was a cool way to store them. But I do have to say, I might take them out of here in the, you know, to store over the winter because I don't think it's that good to have it in the plastic. And just a recommendation, I would say don't put it on top of a coffee warmer on your desk and forget about it, because I melted on the back of my book here, and it also melted through the back pages, which I had nothing in at the time, but this got awful hot, and you're not supposed to let your seeds get hot. So maybe this stuff won't even sprout. I don't know, but I'm not gonna go out and buy new. Whatever flowers sprout, they sprout. But my book, I have to say, when I picked it up, was pretty hot. I was lucky I didn't burn the house down. I was glad I noticed it. So yeah, don't do that, okay? All right, I'll be seeing you a lot this weekend. I have a lot to do out there, and I plan to share it with you. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video.